Today a WIP great goes down, and that is Paul Jolovitz.
That is you.
I'm not a WIP great like you are, sir. So it is debate days on WIP, and we have one coming up later on, Ike versus Joe DeCamera. That's happening at 5:15. But today is one that has been brewing for weeks now, since I heard Paul Jolovitz's over-the-top, disgraceful slander of the Philadelphia 76ers president of basketball operations, Daryl Morey.
Never should have been hired. It was much longer than weeks.
All right.
Worst GM ever.
Okay. Jack.
He's not waiting.
Debate Days.
Jack, are you manning this?
Nah, I think honestly, I want Jolly to open up with an opening statement on where he is on Daryl Morey and let it kind of commence from there.
What? How long?
However long you want, honestly.
Yeah.
Daryl Morey, first of all, I'm Paul Jolovitz. Welcome, everybody. They call me Jolly, and they're going to call me winner after this debate. Daryl Morey was hired in 2020 after doing nothing with the Houston Rockets except coddling James Harden for 14 years. Nothing is worse than winning in the regular season without being to translate that to winning in the playoffs. Daryl did that very well. When he was hired, he decided to trade Ben Simmons, not for Tyrese Halliburton, who he could have had by many sources, including mine, but James Harden, the most useless athlete in the history of professional sports. Total loser, was a loser then, is a loser now. That started his record. Didn't create anything around Joel Embiid. Yeah, he drafted Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain. Nobody bats zero. He's hitting about 0.87. Smug to the fans. AI, who cares? Loses. Never took a team anywhere. Re-signs Joel Embiid 2 years early for absolutely no reason. Injured. Now they have a $300 billion or whatever obligation to Joel. Goes after Paul George for absolutely no reason, which I said before then. You want an old guy that does nothing, never won, to come here, declining in every way? Sure, let's sign him to a $200 million a year contract. He screwed the fans of this team. He talks about squinting. Squinting is why I would think anybody would look to see why he should keep his job. He's a loser. He's always been a loser. He'll always be a loser. He may not be a dummy. He's not a dummy IQ-wise. No common sense. Has taken the Sixers nowhere. Doesn't win. Sports is about winning, 18, 19 years, whatever it is. Never a championship, never an NBA final. Why does he keep his job? I have no idea.
Good start. Spike, there's no way you could possibly debate that.
So now we're going to live in reality instead of emotional crybaby land.
Uh-oh.
And in emotional crybaby land, you can say, he didn't win a championship, but it's not the GM who wins a championship. It's the GM who puts the team together. Daryl Morey has been an NBA general manager for 18 years. He has had one losing season. One. As general manager of the Houston Rockets for 13 years, the Houston Rockets won more games than any team in the National Basketball Association. Any team. They were in the Western Conference Finals twice. He would manage to go from an era with Yao Ming to an era with James Harden where they won 65 games without having a losing season. Did not tank. The entire way the NBA plays today, threes, free throws, layups, and dunks, is because of Daryl Morey. Daryl Morey is the one who determined how basketball and offense was optimized. He stepped into a situation in Philadelphia where most of the draft picks were traded away or wasted and had $110 million per year committed to Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons, and Al Horford. After stepping in, prior to last season, which was a disaster, for sure, and he has not had a perfect record, the Sixers had a record of 201 and 117, which is an average of 52 wins per year. You say, oh, he just drafted Tyrese Maxey. He did at 16 or 21. He drafted the guy who was going to be Rookie of the Year at 16 in Jared McCain. Daryl Morey has not been a perfect GM in the NBA, but that doesn't mean he hasn't been excellent. And at some point, the failures of its team have to be blamed on the players who do not come through when it matters most. Joel Embiid holds that for sure. James Harden holds that for sure. But the general manager who gets the players at the end of the day, if he gets players that are good enough and they don't come through, that's on them. That's not on him.
He's selecting players. He's doing all this artificial intelligence stuff, changing the way the game is played.
You're making things.
Hold a second.
Do you even know how artificial intelligence works or what he's doing? Do you?
By the way, the game is played. Nobody likes the game right now. The game is boring. Nobody likes the NBA, so screw that as well.
The team that you think is going to win the NBA championship, the Oklahoma City Thunder, play in a way that Daryl Morey optimized. Yes, they do.
They don't.
Yes, they do.
They play with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They play with players. I'll tell you what. If you want to be a guy who uses all these analytics to get your team, get a team with mental toughness. Don't extend Joel Embiid. Don't get James Harden.
People like you, say, you would win if you got somebody else. Who? How is Daryl Morey magically just going to get another top 5 player in the NBA?
Well, other people magically get him. Other people win.
How?
Other people win. Don't give me that excuse.
How?
How's anybody else going to do it?
No.
He is paid to do it.
Right.
Not
and he
anybody
walked
else.
into a team. Any smart person would walk into a team with Joel Embiid and say, I'm going to do my best to win with that guy.
And he hasn't.
They haven't won because of Joel Embiid.
You use the worst, in my opinion, the worst verification of anything. He wins games. Nobody cares if you win games.
Is Sam Presti a good GM?
Sam Presti's a pretty good GM.
Okay, has he won any championships?
Got to win a championship.
Has he won any championships?
No, I don't think he's a great GM either yet.
Okay, so isn't it possible to be a good GM and have not won a championship?
It is, but Daryl Morey's not.
Of course
he is.
Just
because it's possible, no. Winning games, nobody cares. Nobody ever goes around and goes, hey, my team was 54-28 last year. Did you go to the parade? It was great. Ever, because nobody cares.
But yeah, of course they care.
They don't care.
It means you have put your team in a position to win, Jolly.
No, you
can't
win
a championship.
Position to win.
You can't win a championship unless you have a team that wins 50 or 60 games. It's just the truth.
I use the word all the time. It's called transmission. You can get all the talent, all the coaches, all the whatever, the know-how of how to play the game. You got to transmit that into something.
What does that mean? He's the general manager. How would you have turned Joel Embiid and what he had into a championship?
I'd be a better GM than Daryl Morey. I'll tell you that right now.
You can say that,
right now,
but you don't have an answer because people like you.
You don't have an answer as to what Daryl Morey's done.
I told you he's won more games than any general manager in the last 20 years.
No one cares. He hasn't won championships.
I care.
Well, you shouldn't.
You just say, win a champion. Like it's some magical bean you can grow.
Well, it's a bean you better grow if you want to have real estate somewhere.
The only way you win a championship in the NBA is with a top 5 to 7 player.
And Joel Embiid's not?
But how do you... Yes.
And he extended him 2 years. The guy's injured.
And you had to extend him.
No,
there was no choice.
No, you did not.
Then you have to trade him.
No, you did not.
Yes, you do. You don't understand the NBA.
You don't understand sports.
Of course, you just don't get the NBA,
yeah,
Jolly.
I get the NBA.
No,
I get everything about the NBA.
All you do
you
is
don't, because you win games.
Oh, I could be better. I could be better.
Oh.
Okay, so you're the general manager of the Sixers right now. What do you do?
I don't know what I do. But I'm not paid
what an answer!
I'm not paid to be the general manager, Spike.
Somebody get Josh Harris on the phone.
So lame, Spike.
What would you do?
That's the Daryl Morey thing. What would you do?
No, it's not mine to do. You're the one that said you could be a general manager.
So I have to do it instantly in 5 seconds?
No,
give me time. Give me the time.
Name one thing.
I'd find a way.
One thing.
Look what Michael Bridges. Look what the Knicks did last year.
No, he's on another team.
Right, because Daryl Morey didn't trade for him, and they did.
What have they won?
Well, they're in this conference
finals.
What have they won?
They're
in the conference finals.
What have they won?
First year, first year conference finals.
The conference finals, which Daryl Morey has been to twice. You told me it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You told me.
They haven't lost yet.
What has Michael Bridges done in his entire career?
How many conference finals has Michael Bridges lost?
What has he won?
Spike, you're unbelievably clueless. You really are.
No,
winning games doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
Well, then what difference does it make if Michael Bridges is in the Eastern Conference Finals?
Well, he hasn't been anywhere else. That's the farthest he could be right now. His first year with the team, and that's where they are.
So he brought them there?
Helped it, absolutely.
He brought them there.
Helped it.
Okay.
Damn well helped it.
Okay. All right.
James Harden, clueless.
Okay.
Clueless.
So what should they have done?
I don't know, Spike.
Oh, great.
Tyrese Halliburton for sure.
So anyway.
For sure, Tyrese Halliburton. Answer that one. Tyrese Halliburton.
Yes, would have been great to trade for.
Which I said then for 3 years. Go back to the tape, Spike. You don't believe me? Go back to the tape.
No, here's the thing.
Go back to the tape.
Very easy.
Go back to the tape.
I'll go back to all the tape.
Go back to what I said.
It's so easy to say a team won't win or can't win or won't win. Anybody can do. I would have done this or I would have done that. You still can't tell me what you would do right now.
You should be a defense attorney. You really should. Because people who have
Because
nothing
I'm
to stand
winning
on
again.
What would you have done? It's not up to me to have done it.
Okay,
it's up to Daryl Morey to have done it.
Just before we wrap this up,
We're not judging the relative merits of me as a general manager.
I just want to lay
out.
I just want to lay out, Jolly. It doesn't matter as if you don't win a championship unless you're Mikal Bridges.
So
it doesn't. No.
54.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you don't win a championship unless you're Sam Presti. I
never said a word about Sam Presti. You did.
And you said he was a good GM.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
GM.
You said he was a good GM.
This is the most
easiest
debate I'll ever win.
And you also said you could be the general manager.
Yeah, I could.
I asked you what you do, and you said I don't know.
Because I have 1 second to think about it, not 4 months.
You
not
think
4
about
years.
it all the time.
This is the
your
most pitiful
job.
demonstration I've ever seen of defending a total loser with some stat wins. Stats are for losers. Stats are for losers. Winning is a stat. Championships are history. Championships are accomplishments.
So how many championships does Mikal Bridges have?
Who cares?
The guy who... Because you brought him up, Jolly.
These stupid comparisons with
You brought him up.
I brought him up.
How many championships, Jolly?
0. In a totally different context than you did. You're trying to defend Daryl Morey. You haven't told me one reason why Daryl Morey, who tanked this year, who was horrible, who's taken the Sixers nowhere, who's done nothing with expectations, who's made bad trades. That's right. Nothing. The fans of the city are screwed because of this moron.
He's a moron.
What's he done right? What's he done right?
Are we being so okay? So we drafted Tyrese Maxey. Was that right?
Who cares?
Okay.
Yes, it was right.
This is over.
He didn't bat 0.
This is over. He drafted Jeremy Kane. Was that right?
Spike lives in a world where somebody does one thing right.
No.
If Nick
You asked me what he did right, and I'm listing things that he did right.
And winning a championship is all that matters.
Okay. All right. Well, he hasn't won a championship. Then.
No, he wasn't
So
won anything.
if the
He got
debate
worse and worse and worse. Hasn't improved the team one bit.
Jolly, if the debate was, has Daryl Morey won a championship? The answer would be no. But that's not what the debate is.
This is the easiest debate I'll ever win in my life.
Is Daryl Morey a good general manager?
Horrible.
Okay.
Winning games? There's nothing worse than winning games when you can't translate that to winning championships.
There's nothing worse than winning games.
When you can't translate it to see, people
Let
like
me ask you this. If Howie Roseman do a good job this year?
No, I'm not going to give up on this one. Don't give me these partial statements. Don't tell me winning games matters and championships. You have to translate it to something, and Morey doesn't. You have a guy, you want to win 50 games? Great. I don't. I want to win championships. Morey doesn't do that.
You have to win 50 games to win a championship.
No,
you understand?
You don't.
Okay, so what's one team that has won an NBA championship that hasn't won 50 games?
I don't have the records in front of me, Spike. This dramatic
declarative made-up statement.
Dramatic is fun, Spike, isn't it? Isn't it fun to be dramatic when you have no facts to go by? He doesn't win. You can all you want. You can do all you want about the Rockets. 2 conference finals. That's great. Didn't win it. Ask the fans of Houston. Are you happy? Because he left. Why? I don't know. Here he hadn't improved anybody.
When
he's
every
also
other
smug
team,
to the fans.
No,
he's awful.
Not.
He's terrible. Horrible. No fans like Daryl Morey that I've ever talked to. He talks down to them. He's smug. The squinting thing. You got to understand what we got to do. Blah, blah, blah. And then you look at the record. And then you look at the accomplishment. A total, not a dummy. I will not say an IQ dummy. A total loser. Total loser.
Okay.
Never should have been hired. Would have fired him in 5 seconds.
Into the corners.
Hot in the streets.
Man.
It's an emotional issue. I mean, the guy's a loser.
You're a loser.
Wow. Can we do the floater?
Oh, Colonial.
Yeah. And then back
You
to
know
that.
who's not a loser? The cars are John Ashdale. I'm too pissed off to do this. I love Colonial. I want to tell everybody about the Memorial Day weekend
They're good
sale.
cars.
It's great. They're and no one's going to treat you better than Colonial. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday, you go in there, they give you a choice between 2 things. One is to debate Jolly. No, not. One is to get 20% off any new Hyundai in stock. That is one option. That's up to $10,000 off.
A car that's going to be good for your whole life, not Tuesday.
All right.
Take a deep breath in there, Jolly. We got a job to do.
All righty.
Thank you.
You get a choice. 20% off any new Hyundai in stock, which is up to $10,000, or you get $6,500 for your trade no matter what condition it's in. That's great. And everyone at Colonial is going to treat you like gold. It's going to be fast, easy, better, as everything is. The Memorial Day weekend sales event. It is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday, and best financing in the business as low as 0%. Online 24/7, colonialhyundai.com. Colonial Hyundai, the faster, easier, better way to buy a Hyundai. See dealer for full details.
Well, at least it wasn't straight into a blue chew, right?
Yeah. By the way,
thing that could have been better.
By the way, Jolly, great stand-in for Howard this year. Debate Days last year.
Way better.
Howard Eskin. Yes.
Asking.
So,
Yes.
Jolly, before you go, we need a clarification on this quote from you because we were confused when it was played.
Okay. I'm not big on sayings necessarily, but there are a few I live by. One of them is size is for people in prison.
Now, what does that mean?
That means Chip Kelly was talking about size. Big people beat up little people. Size doesn't matter. You got to be able to play. I mean, Daryl Morey, the guy that I just trashed, proved that. Look at Jared McCain. Look at Tyrese Maxey. Size doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how big you are. It matters what you got inside you, period. Don't give me someone big, some lurch that can't play. I think everybody would agree with that. And if you don't, you're a moron. I mean, really, Ike, am I wrong?
No, you're not. Listen, I'm not disagreeing with you. Are you kidding me? Yes. You're on fire right now, man.
But I'm right. That's why.
No. The reason I have so much respect for you is you're so passionate about something that you're so very clearly wrong about.
Daryl Morey, how am I wrong? You're the only person who thinks this. Everybody I know said, how's Spike going to do it? I said,
how's Spike going to do it? He's won Executive of the Year.
So what?
Okay.
Executive of the Year.
Does any
Nothing.
Daryl Morey accomplishment matter?
Yeah.
He's here to win a championship.
So I said he's won more games in a 13-year period.
Who cares?
Okay.
Seriously,
so it's about winning unless it's not.
It's about winning, period. Period. Everything's about winning. Can the Eagles
Do you think bad GMs have won championships?
Yes.
Okay, so does that make him a good GM?
Spike, exceptions don't make rules clarified.
All right,
Drama,
so this is an exception.
Silly, dramatic.
No.
Has anybody ever done this?
No, because all you're doing is judging him. It's very simple.
He hasn't done anything.
No, here's the thing. It's very simple. You are judging him solely on whether he's won a championship.
No, I'm not.
But yes, you are.
No, he's made bad trades. He's smug to the fans.
And he's also made great trades,
no,
just like every
Name a great trade
GM.
he made besides Harden. Name one.
Are you being serious?
Name one.
So he got James Harden for Ben Simmons.
Name one, other than Harden.
Are you being serious?
Name one. I'll keep saying that. Because you're trying to buy time by saying, are you being
serious?
So
other than the great trade he made.
Name one.
He traded for James Harden. He traded Ben Simmons for James Harden.
That was a horrible trade. I was on the air that night, and I said it's the worst trade in the history of Philly sports.
Okay.
He traded
what has Ben Simmons done so far?
What's James Harden done?
Well, he looks better than Ben Simmons.
Are you being?
I hated Ben Simmons. He traded him for, instead of Tyrese Halliburton. James Harden's been my least favorite athlete forever. Long before he came here.
More than Phillip Rivers. More than Phillip Rivers.
More than Phillip Rivers.
Hall of Famer, by the way. Both Hall of Famers.
Who cares?
I'm with you on the Phillip Rivers thing.
So
you and I see
you're in these individual awards mean nothing. The MVP is coming out tonight. Who cares about MVPs?
Okay, so
who cares about individual awards? Championships.
Just real quick. So it only matters you win a championship, but just because you win a championship doesn't make you a good GM. But if you haven't won a championship,
statements
those are your statements, Charlie.
These are generally true. They don't mean they're always true, and there aren't exceptions otherwise. why should Daryl Morey? Let me ask you this: if you were Josh Harris, and I said today, simple question. Would you like Daryl Morey to keep his job? He signed a deal. You don't want to pay him. Should he be a GM next year? Yes or no?
Yes.
No.
Okay. All right.
I would open
well, it
the
seems
phone
like Josh Harris, and by the way, this is not a pro-Josh Harris thing, but Josh Harris buys the Commanders, they become good. Josh Harris buys a soccer team, they become good. Josh Harris buys the Devils. Josh Harris buys the Devils, they become good. So it seems like...
What did the Devils do?
They went from a completely useless franchise to actually a really good team.
But they haven't won anything.
Okay. All right.
Crystal Palace. I know the soccer, too, if you want to go to that. Crystal Palace sucks.
Obviously.
They happen to win a tournament.
Obviously. So they happen to win.
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
Not because of Josh Harris.
So my point is, if Josh Harris has decided to keep him, and Josh Harris has a record of improving franchises.
Not this one.
Okay.
Nobody in Philly cares about the others.
Wait a minute. This franchise is not better than when Josh Harris bought it?
Not right now, no.
This franchise is not better than when Josh Harris bought it.
They're a lottery pick. They're 28-4-58.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well,
not.
Regular season games don't matter. So what's the difference
between... You ask me who's better.
What's the difference between being 58 and 24?
Dramatic, ridiculous stat stuff that you're into. I'm giving you the same thing. I don't care how many games. 24-58. They're in the worst situation. They're irrelevant. They got the third pick. I don't care. They're not going to do anything with it. I'm not even a Sixer fan anymore. That's how bad it is. I almost want them to lose because of Daryl Morey. He is such an idiot. He has hurt the fans so much.
So you're not a real Sixer fan?
No,
You're not
I'm
a real Sixer fan.
I was a real Sixer fan.
You'd rather be right than the Sixers win. And this is the disease with all of you people.
That's okay.
It's a disease.
This drama stuff.
It's a disease.
This hot take drama stuff must be fun.
Oh, hot take.
Right.
Oh, hot take.
It is.
Oh,
hot take.
No, winning games don't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, hot take.
Winning games.
That is like your crutch.
When's the last parade you saw for a winner?
Don't tell me I have hot takes. You said you would do a better job than Daryl. You want some hot takes?
You want to make the Sixers
some hot
takes
takes?
today?
You said you could.
Give me the time Daryl Morey
you know
think about
you
it.
Said,
I damn sure
you want to
would.
talk about hot takes? You said you could pick somebody off the street and they would be a better GM than Daryl Morey.
Can't be worse.
Well, is that a hot take?
Can't be worse.
Is that a hot take, Charlie? Is that a hot take?
Can't be worse.
Is that a hot take?
Can't be worse.
All right.
You said Dennis Knox in Seattle, Washington. Could do a better job than Daryl Morey.
Because he wouldn't ruin the team. He had no idea what he's doing, but he wouldn't ruin it. Daryl Morey has ruined it by extending Joel Embiid, by signing Paul George, and I'll say it again, the worst signing of a free agent in Philadelphia sports history, which I said that day. Dennis Knox would have done nothing and said, I don't know what I'm doing. Daryl Morey is ruining a team. He traded for James Harden. He traded a zero in Ben Simmons. He traded for a negative in James Harden. Created expectations, ruined a team, period.
All right. Are we done?
I don't like him. Why are we not coming down his throat?
Yeah.
Why are we so lenient?
That was out of pocket.
It drives me insane.
That was out of pocket. Play it again.
What? Why are we not coming down his throat? Why are we so lenient on Daryl Morey? Yeah. It drives me insane. It does.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, Jolly.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that at all.
Okay.
Still doesn't hear it.
Yeah, Jolly, thank you.
Thank you.
I believe you lost, clearly.
I actually don't know.
This was the easiest debate I've ever had in my life.
That wasn't as much of a beatdown as I thought. I'm going to be honest. I thought Jolly did great. The callers agree. Twitter
We're
agrees.
defending him. It's indefensible. Indefensible.
No.
Go to any Sixer fan out there, Spike, and say, when's the last time you ever saw a parade for winning 50 games?
It's very
Nobody
easy.
cares.
It's very easy for you to take the position that when the team is losing, that everybody is bad. Just like if you would
the same position when they were winning.
Great idea.
Hadn't changed over the last 2 years.
All right.
He made it worse this year.
All right, Jolly.
I said this when Morey was hired. The year after which they lost. The year after which they lost. The year after which they lost. And the year after, he doesn't win. That's all that matters.
Get him out of here.
All right, get him
no
out.
chance.
Morgenstein, can you go get Jolly out of the studio?
Last statement. The Sixers will not, if Daryl Morey stays,